How to use the heat to your advantage. Intensity and duration are going to be the most limiting factors when you go out for a run. However, the environment and the weather are going to play a significant role in how you feel and how you perform. It comes as no surprise that endurance events are going to be significantly compromised in the hot and humid environment. Specifically, you'll experience increased perceived effort, increased heart rate, increased core body temperature, and increased sweat rate, which may lead to greater dehydration. Having said that, there is potential to benefit from training in the heat when done correctly. When applied appropriately, training in the heat can be a good stimuli for adaptation. Potential benefits include increased VO2 max, increased lactate threshold, and increased time trial performance. These benefits have been shown to carry over to cool and hot environments after just a 10-day trial period. So if you're looking to use the hot humid environment as a training stimulus, do so with lighter efforts. You can adapt to heat with lighter workloads. You don't necessarily need to run hard for that training stimulus. And you arguably shouldn't train hard in a harsh, hot environment for a variety of reasons. Having a harder session in a hot, humid environment isn't going to necessarily induce a greater effect. You won't necessarily adapt quicker, and it will arguably be counterproductive. Harder effort type workouts are where we try and induce an adaptation. We need to reach a certain level of intensity to induce the correct energy system that we want to affect. If it's too hot, you simply won't be able to reach that intensity because your body's gonna be too busy trying to cool itself off in order to continue doing work. It only makes sense to try and acclimate to heat with lighter, easier sessions, leaving harder efforts to more ideal environments. So heat acclimation is typically done over a 2-week period, but you can get a benefit from just 3 to 5 days. The harshest environment that also carries the greatest risk is one with high air temperature and high humidity. If humidity is high, there's a high water content in the air. It's not that you're not able to sweat, it's just that the high water content in the air is going to act as a barrier, and the sweat won't be able to evaporate from your skin. It has nowhere to go once you have sweated out. Exposure to the sun is strong and consistent. There's additional reflective solar energy reflecting off the running surface, and there's little to no wind. Wind plays a big factor in helping heat escape off the surface of your skin. Heat acclimation is going to be beneficial for an athlete, especially if they are entering into a race with a hot, warm environment. But when it comes to acute strategies or the days leading up to a race, you may want to avoid heat and humidity. So it's natural to lose a small percentage of body weight during a longer race that may or may not be detrimental. However, you generally want to rehydrate, refuel during and after a workout. Continuing to try and train and acclimate the day or two before a race is just going to leave you a little more vulnerable for dehydration, which can of course impede performance. Your ability to adapt is going to be based on a variety of factors such as current fitness level and health history, but you're unlikely to lose the effect within 1 to 2 weeks. So training outside in the sun the day or two prior to a race, you're not going to lose that. You're just leaving yourself more vulnerable to dehydrate. If you experience a sunburn, that may impede that given area of the ability to dissipate heat and further keep you cool during performance. So what do? Use heat as a stimulus, but do so with easier efforts. Recognize pacing is going to be affected by a variety of factors. It's going to be significantly slower, as it should when you're acclimating. Split your run into 2 if necessary. Recognize the symptoms of heat-related illness. If you're feeling abnormally weak, headache, nausea, dizzy, stop, cool off. Don't try and acclimate to the heat with a harder effort. This is unlikely to create a larger benefit, and you won't necessarily adapt quicker. You'll have a suboptimal workout that's going to be more counterproductive than beneficial because you won't be able to cool off, and your body will be busy trying to cool off as opposed to helping you adapt to running, and you'll be doing so at the risk of your health.